Have you ever crammed an entire semester's worth of information the night before an exam and still managed to pull a miracle? Or maybe you've seen that one student who barely opens a textbook but still aces every test, like they're in on some secret study hack the rest of us don't know. Here's the truth. They are. And today, we're unlocking that vault. This isn't about working harder. It's about working so smart, it almost feels like cheating. So let's rewind to a painfully familiar moment. You open your textbook, determined to finally get your life together. 5 minutes in, you've reread the same sentence 10 times, your mind is wandering, and you suddenly remember that you need to reorganize your entire desk and maybe alphabetize your spice rack while you're at it. Sound familiar? That's because traditional studying, sitting for hours with a book and highlighter, is broken. Research from the Princeton Neuroscience Institute found that attention spans begin to decrease sharply after just 25 minutes of focused effort. That's less time than a single sitcom episode. So if you're grinding away for hours, you're not a machine. You're just exhausting your brain. Let's fix that. Imagine this. You study for 45 minutes, recall everything, and still have time to relax. It's possible, not because you're a genius, but because you know how your brain works. And that's where things start to feel like cheating. First, let's talk about active recall. This is the closest thing to a superpower when it comes to studying. Instead of reading and rereading, you test yourself. You force your brain to pull information out, not just soak it in. Sounds simple, right? But studies show that students using active recall perform up to 50% better than those who just reread or highlight. 50%. That's the difference between a B- and an A+. And here's the kicker. It takes less time. You're not memorizing by brute force. You're training your brain like a muscle. Let's say you're studying biology. Instead of passively reading about cell structures, close your book and try to draw them from memory. Or try explaining the concept to a duck, your cat, or an imaginary podcast audience. If you can't explain it simply, you don't really understand it. That's the rule. Now combine active recall with the Feynman technique. Richard Feynman, the Nobel Prize-winning physicist, used this to learn just about everything. Step 1, learn it. Step 2, explain it in the simplest language possible, like you're teaching it to a 5-year-old. Step 3, identify gaps. Wherever you stumble, that's what you revisit. This method not only deepens your understanding, but slashes your study time. It's not magic, it's clarity. But what about retention? You can't just remember things once and expect your brain to hold on to them forever. That's where spaced repetition enters the game. It's like setting cheat codes for your memory. The idea is simple. Review information right before you're about to forget it. Apps like Anki or even good old-fashioned flashcards can help you space reviews over days, weeks, and months. The science? Mind-blowing. Spaced repetition can improve long-term memory retention by up to 80%. That's the kind of boost athletes get from performance-enhancing drugs, except it's totally legal and your brain's the one doing the heavy lifting. Let's put this into a real-life scenario. Meet Sam. Sam used to study 5 hours a day, barely scraping by. Then Sam discovered active recall plus spaced repetition. Sam's new routine: 1-hour sessions, flashcards with spaced intervals, and explaining complex topics like he's hosting TED Talks for his dog. Within 3 weeks, his test scores jumped by 2 grade levels. And now, he's got extra time to chill, game, or finally touch grass. That's what this method does. It gives you your time back. Still not sold? Let's throw in some interleaving. Instead of studying one topic endlessly, mix things up. Spend 20 minutes on biology, then 20 on chemistry, then go back to biology. This messes with your brain in the best way. It forces your mind to work harder to retrieve info, which strengthens learning. Studies from the Journal of Educational Psychology show interleaving can lead to 25% better performance in long-term assessments. So if you're cramming one subject for hours, stop. You're sabotaging yourself. Mix it up. Now let's deal with distractions, because none of this works if your phone is buzzing every 2 minutes. One Harvard study found that Even just having your phone visible can reduce cognitive performance by up to 20%. That's like walking into an exam after pulling an all-nighter. If you want to study like a brain ninja, your phone either goes off face down or in another room. Combine that with the Pomodoro technique, 25 minutes of focused work, 5-minute breaks, and boom, your productivity skyrockets without burning out. So here's your new cheat code roadmap. Active recall, always test, never just read. Feynman technique, explain it like you're 5. Spaced repetition, review smart, not hard. Interleaving, mix subjects to deepen memory. Pomodoro plus 0 distractions minus short bursts equals pure focus. And don't forget the secret weapon most students ignore, sleep. No, really. During sleep, especially deep REM cycles, your brain consolidates memories. Pulling all-nighters might feel heroic, but they cut your memory by up to 40% the next day. So if you're choosing between 1 more hour of cramming or sleep, go to bed. That's when your brain does the real studying. Now let's talk about something that sounds counterintuitive. Studying less. Cramming 6 hours the night before a test might feel productive, but it's like chugging water right before a marathon. It's not going to help you last. The real pros, students who consistently crush exams, study smarter, shorter, and more often. Their secret isn't in how long they study, it's how they study. Efficient studying doesn't just get you better grades, it frees you up to actually enjoy life. Here's another bonus tip. Environment matters. Your brain associates spaces with activities. If you study in bed, your brain thinks it's nap time. If you study at a clean, designated spot, it knows it's go time. And if you can study with a slight scent, like peppermint or lavender, and then smell that again during a test, you might trigger better recall. That's not myth, that's memory association at work. Let's talk music. Ditch anything with lyrics. Lo-fi beats, classical, or nature sounds work best. If it makes you sing along, it's hurting your focus. Studies show that background music with lyrics can reduce reading comprehension by up to 15%. So if you want to read faster, understand better, and retain more, go instrumental. Let's wrap it up with a challenge. For the next 7 days, try this method. 25-minute sessions, no distractions, active recall, spaced repetition, and 1 attempt to teach what you learned like you're explaining it to a friend. Track your results. You'll be shocked. Not because you suddenly became a genius, but because you stopped fighting your brain and started working with it. Studying fast isn't about shortcuts. It's about neuroscience. It's about using tools that your brain already loves. And once you get the hang of this, school stops being a grind and starts feeling like a game you're finally winning. That's not cheating. That's just playing smart. And you? You're ready to win. So let's go.